why don't we go ahead and get started? I don't, do we have an agenda, or are we just kind of reflecting on the meeting we just had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the purpose, I think, to reflect on the previous meeting, not knowing where we were going to wind up. And, you know, if you need anything else at this point, you know, as we look ahead to Tuesday, we obviously are, you know, we will be pulling together a budget book based on the assumptions as they currently exist, which we, you know, obviously couldn't do before the meeting on Tuesday from the meeting on Monday, but we will have that out to you guys at some point, either tomorrow or on, you know, or over the weekend. So it will be there. And then, you know, I think it's just, do you need anything else as you think ahead to Tuesday? What is it that you need from us to be able to engage in, you know, conversations and decision making?
Does anyone just want to start, and anything you need for information, and otherwise just any reflections from the meeting we just had? No, nobody's got anything. I mean, Emily.
Sorry, I was in the wrong screen to raise my hand on Zoom, so I apologize. Superintendent, I'm wondering if you can share with us the letters that you sent the unions that you
Sure.
referred to during the joint finance call.
Yeah, and they're you know, our attorney provided it as a template, so I'll be happy to send those to you.
Thank you.
Adam?
Thanks. I'm wondering if we can see some information related to the looking inward for some of those contracted services that has been raised a number of times. What could be looked at within that budget line?
So you have, we've provided you all of the detailed information down to the line items. So I don't have anything to offer from that list. You know, if we did, we would have offered it. So if you have suggestions, you know, I suggest that you put those up as amendments at the board meeting. And if you need additional information about any of them, we'll do our best to provide that to you. But I don't, you know, I don't have any reductions to offer from that list.
Yeah, so there's nothing on that list that you see that could be done with internal resources. They all necessitate external contracted services.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Emily?
I would like to see the details on projected increase in elementary school class size if we were going to go with the superintendent's proposal to allow class size to increase for grades 1 to 3 to 25 students.
So you would want to see what the resulting class sizes would be at where they would be. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Roberto?
Just a follow-up to that. Because I think in years past, you've provided through the budget like a breakdown of the class sizes. When you do that, are you, because of enrollment not being true right now, right to next year, are you using just this year's enrollment numbers to do those projections, right? So just to kind of clarify that that's what we would be looking at.
That's right. It's, you know, that's how we do it always at this time. And the 2 classes that we project to increase for next year is based on the kids that are enrolled in those grades at this school this year. rolling up into the next year. So it doesn't account for any moves within district and all of that. So and that's why we wind up on any given year with, not having increased a class in one school and needing to do that at the beginning of the school year because the numbers turned out higher than we expected them to be. And so that's what we would be able to provide in response to Ms. Victor's request.
Excellent. Appreciate it.
Emily?
Sorry, one last thing. I would like to see if I know we have it from earlier in the year or late last year, but if we could, as part of the budget process, see the discipline data again, the high school discipline data, and specifically the differential discipline outcomes by race and other characteristics.
Yeah.
Adam?
Do we also have that data at the elementary and middle? I know emphasis was put on the high school most recently, but I'm curious to look at that across the grades.
We do at the middle school. I don't remember, did we do the elementary, guys?
No.
It's
They're very yeah, we have it for the middle school. That data does not exist at the elementary level. It will starting this year, like including this year moving forward, but past years does not exist.
Anyone else? So I think that was a very positive meeting with the council that we just had, and I was a little worried going into it that we might end up with a worse outcome than we did. And I actually think that, given the context of COVID-19 and the crisis that we're facing, a budget with an increase is pretty positive overall. So I think that, for Tuesday, I think I have all the information I need. I guess I'll just say, I'm still kind of open to amendment considerations that would, keep us to the overall amount that we have currently. I think our meeting on Monday, it was a little tough because it was kind of the first time we had seen the superintendent's most recent iteration of the budget, and it's just a wealth of information to try to grapple with in one evening, which is not to anyone's fault because of the timeline being compressed in this, but I think for me it made it feel like we were still on a continuum in this budget process rather than feeling as if, that this is like definitely the budget that I feel we should support. So, I think that's just where I'll leave it. I think overall we're in a good direction, and I just still be open to some of the amendments that may come up. Any other thoughts?
Can I just, my mind was just reflecting on what Board Member Burke asked. I do want to just underscore that we did put $100,000 of additional reductions and, out of our central office contractual is already built into the assumptions for reducing the $490,000 that we had to, back out to get to the 0% increase. So there are reductions yet to be determined coming out of that, out of those lines, Mr. Burke.
Yeah, if I may respond, I appreciate the reiteration of that. And based on what I'm learning, I'm increasingly uncomfortable with that, seeing who it affects and what their wages currently are and what they're already eligible for and what they're not eligible for. So I'm trying to understand the various scenarios and options as it impacts our people and have the best information in a very fast timeline.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. And that was not what I was referring to, contracts that are in academics and the assistant superintendent's office, communications, multilingual, and so on. So that's
I understand.
So that it's separate from the COLA, and I agree and appreciate your concern about that.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification and ongoing clarification about all these very nuanced things.
Emily?
I'll just say two things. First, with respect to the COLAs for non-represented staff, I agree that I have learned more both during the public hearing and since. And I think to the extent that I led people to believe that I'd want to leave in place those COLA reductions just for non-represented staff. And that's not where I can't support that position. And I do think that there should be parity across all staff, to the extent that we need to ask our staff in this extraordinary time and given the burdens that we're putting on all staff, that we shouldn't just target some, central office staff or what have you. So just clarifying that my thinking on that has evolved, and I thank everyone who's participated in that process to help me more fully understand, including the very active participation we had from the public at our public hearing on Tuesday. So I'm just deeply appreciative of everyone who participated in that. I want to say that overall, I'm very unhappy with this budget. We know that this budget was intended to close opportunity gaps. And in this time of remote learning, the need to do that has increased substantially. And yet we're barely scratching the surface in terms of the investments that we're able to make. We're leaving a lot on the table, and it's deeply unsatisfying. And so, given the financial crisis, I'm understanding that this is the budget that we're going to move forward with a 0% tax increase, but it's a set of impossible choices, and is very hard to move, very hard to digest as just the reality that we're going to have to accept for now.
Anyone else? Roberto?
Thank you. So just, I wish all board members were here, but maybe I can send an email through the weekend, or Anna or the superintendent. But just looking forward to Tuesday night when we have our board discussion around that. If you remember, we moved. It was initially supposed to be a special meeting just with the budget, but then now we added some other items, and one of those other items, the spring stipends. probably going to be a lengthy conversation. So any kind of, like the superintendent just said, any kind of questions or information that they want to request, to do that as soon as possible, or anything, any direction that they're expecting to send the conversation. Just to be, I guess, all to say that to come as prepared as possible on Tuesday, anticipating at least two pretty lengthy items on our agenda. Superintendent can probably give me better details around this, but if worst case scenario, I think that we have a little bit of leeway beyond Tuesday, time wise, if it got to that, but we obviously would rather not push it to that level. I think we'd love to get things done on Tuesday night, but according to the like the official time, that we could potentially have a special emergency meeting on Wednesday or Thursday night, if we didn't finish on Tuesday. But again, I would urge us to try to come in with an expectation that we'd finish it up on Tuesday and refer that budget over to the council. I think that it'll speak loudly of the confidence with which we're moving this forward. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay. If that's everything, I guess we can adjourn. Is there a motion?
I move.
Mark, seconded by Emily. All those in favor? It's unanimous. All right, we're adjourned at 7:41.